So I would say my favorite holiday besides my birthday is probably, and people who are born in the 90s are like horrified of my birthday, but like that's their problem. I low-key forgot what I was even talking about. Oh, I'm doing my business. I'm just peeing. Like there's nothing like crazy about this. That is the most embarrassing thing that's happened to me. I stupidly let like a blind lady, half blind lady, pierce my ears with a piercing gun, and hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Alexa. If you're new here, I live in LA and I like to post weekly videos. Today I thought it would be fun to do like a get to know me video, just because I feel like maybe it'll help, you know, give context to like who I am, and like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. I also just kind of wanted to try like a sit down video, because I feel like I don't know, I feel like these are kind of fun, and I feel like it kind of like lets you in more on my personality as opposed to just like filming vlogs every week and like not knowing who I am. So I found some questions that I think would be fun to answer, just so you guys have like a little bit more background from me. And my goal honestly for this video is hopefully, you know, when I first like press record, I feel like there's like these jitters, and I feel like I'm like kind of putting it on, like I'm sort of like a caricature of myself. But my hope is that if I answer a good amount of questions, eventually my personality will kind of like shine through and you guys can get to know me a bit better. So let's get started. Okay, first question is my full name, Alexa Sydney, and people have a hard time pronouncing it, but my last name's pronounced Kouakou. I guess you can pronounce it like as Kouakou, which is kind of like more like the Ivorian way. And I guess some background on my last name is it's an West African or an Ivorian name. It's pretty common down there. So yeah, I've had a tough time with my last name growing up. I have heard every single iteration of my last name: Kouakou, Kouakou, Kaka. And so yeah, I found that the pronunciation and how you pronounce it to people and when you're teaching it to them is really important. I think when I was younger, I used to be like, my last name's pronounced Kouakou, and then they would never know how to pronounce it. And then somehow in high school, I just started saying, my last name is pronounced Kouakou, and people were like, oh, that's a cool last name. And so literally just a very small pronunciation change changed my life. Okay, question 2, how old am I? So I am currently 24. I just turned 24 in August, and yeah, I was born in the year 2000, which I think is the best year to be born in. So every year I turn, my age is like the year it turns. So next year in 2025, I'm gonna be turning 25. So I've always liked my birthday. I always love my birth year. I think it's like the best birth year. And people who are born in the 90s are like horrified of my birthday, but like that's their problem. Question number 3, where are you from and where were you born? So I am from Arizona. I live in California, and I was actually, I was born in San Diego. So like, I'm not like new to Southern California. My dad lives in San Diego. So like, I grew up going to San Diego a lot, but like my entire schooling from preschool to senior year of college all took place in Arizona. So that was where I lived most of my life. It's very hot there, and I did not realize like how sunny it was there every day. So I find that like I'm super sensitive to like any sort of weather that California gets, because like I'm just used to like a bright, sunny, hot day. So yeah. How many siblings do I have is question number 6. So I have 0 siblings. I am an only child, and I never let anyone hear the end of it. I hated being an only child so much. I feel like even today, like whenever I read like novels, I always gravitate towards books that have big families and like a strong emphasis on like the sibling dynamic. I think that those books are really fun to read, because it's like I feel like I'm sort of like in on it, and I'm like a fly on the wall, and it's like, oh, I'm a sibling. But yeah, so I really, really wished I had at least like an older sibling. But when people tell me the vibe I give off, they always say I give off older sister sibling. So I don't know what that necessarily like what that vibe is, but like people with siblings always say that I give off older sister vibes. Question, I think I skipped question numbers. I'm just gonna start doing the questions, but do you want children, and if so, how many? I do want children, nowhere near anytime soon. I definitely want to be a parent in my 30s, but I could see myself having 2 kids. I really want 2 daughters because I feel like because I didn't have a sister, I kind of want to just like have an in on someone else's sisterhood. So my goal is to have 2 daughters, close in age. And I love like androgynous names. Like one of my favorite names is Wesley. I feel like it kind of does lean more masculine, but I would love like, if I had a son, I probably would name him Wesley as well. But I just love the name Wesley. I've been thinking lately, and I think I've been thinking about like this private equity firm, but the name Aries, like take out the zodiac sign from it and just think of like Aries, god of war. I think that is actually a really cool name. So like that would be a cool like boy name, definitely. But yeah, I want kids, 2 probably at the most, and hopefully 2 daughters, but I'm fine with whatever I get. Actually, I don't want 2 sons. Let me just put that out there right now. Zodiac sign. So I've found a way to really hone in on these specifics of my zodiac sign. I am a type B Leo. So I feel like as a Leo, I'm pretty independent. I'm like good at going to things by myself. I think it also has a lot to do with being an only child. You kind of have to learn to like speak up for yourself, go to things by yourself. You don't really have like an older sibling to like walk you through things, or a younger sibling to walk through things with. I low-key forgot what I was even talking about. Okay, yeah, so I had to grow up like doing things on my own. And so I feel like it's that also plays into my Leo-ness, is like kind of just like doing my own thing. But I feel like there's another like layer to Leos, and that is that they're very big leaders and they always want to take charge of things. And this is where the type B kind of like downplays that, because I am very type B. I don't need to be in charge. Like I don't care. Like there's always someone who wants to be in charge, and so it's like let them do it. Like I don't want to be in charge. Like I found myself in situations like, you know, probably like in college and high school, like group projects where I'll be assigned to people who literally are way more type B than I am, and it's like, oh, I have to be the one to take the reins and step in on this. So like that is when my Leo will kind of come out, because it's like, hey, we got to figure out something here. We can't just, you know, F around. So yeah, I'm a Leo in the sense I'm independent, but like I'm kind of like laid back. I don't need to take the lead on things, but if I have to, I will. The next question is introvert or extrovert? So I don't know. I feel like I am naturally introverted to people I don't know. I have friends who will always kind of say like, during our friendship, like the early stages of our friendship, they were not sure if I liked them or not. So I feel like I have like a very like rough exterior. Like I feel like I'm just kind of, and I think what it is like I feel like I'm sussing people out before I like reveal my true self to you. And so I think that like I'm very like guarded and like to myself. And the more I get to know people, the more I let them in on me, and the more they obviously let me in on them. And so yeah, so I think there like is an introverted part to me, but then like I don't know, I notice myself at work and it's like I'm very like chatty with like my coworkers, and so it's like I'm extroverted to an extent, but like I just kind of have to be very familiar with the people and like my environment that I'm interacting with those people in. So I'm like a little bit of both, which I feel like everybody says, which is kind of annoying, but like that it is what it is. Fears. So I have some very irrational fears, I guess. I guess one of them isn't as irrational, but like one of my fears is like turbulence. I don't know what it is, but I feel like as a kid with, you know, single parents, I grew up flying on planes a lot. And I feel like when I was a kid, I did not feel all this turbulence. All of a sudden, like as a grown up, I'm like flying from LA to New York or LA to Chicago or wherever. And I feel like the whole plane ride is turbulence. What is happening? Like I literally feel like the plane is going down. Whenever there is turbulence, in my mind is like, Alexa, prepare yourself. The plane is going down. I had the roughest flight from LA to Austin. It was the bumpiest landing I have ever been a part of. I really like felt like it was the end for me. So that is one of my fears. Another fear of mine, it's kind of stupid, but like I'll say it anyways. I really, really hate slave movies. Like I cannot sleep watching a slave film. Like I am not watching 12 Years a Slave. I am not watching Django. I am not watching whatever other slave movie that's out there, Roots. Like those movies, as a kid, I thought it was like a kid thing. I thought like there was something disturbing about it, obviously. And I thought like it was something that you eventually like grow out of, but I never grew out of it. Like if I were to watch a movie like that, it would be like I wouldn't be able to sleep for a couple nights. So those are some of my fears. Kind of embarrassing, but it is what it is. Favorite season, hands down, it's summer. I love summer. I feel like I grew up in a state that felt like summer all the time. So like I don't really know how to handle myself when it's winter. I just like the bright sun. I'm not even someone who wants to sit outside in the sun. Like I don't want to get dark, but I like when the sun is out because it just shows me like, oh, okay, like the day is happening. We are gonna do this today. Like when it's cloudy and like foggy in the morning, it's like I should not be up right now. I don't know what's happening, but I shouldn't be here. So I'm definitely a summer girl. Things I love doing. So I would say I really love going to the movies. Is probably one of my favorite things to do. I get so excited when there is a movie that is like, for example, when Dune 2 was coming to theaters, I was so excited for it because I watched Dune, the first one, and I really liked it. I liked Timothée Chalamet as an actor, and I was just like, this is gonna be so exciting. Like I get to see this in theaters. Like I just loved like the smell of the movie theater, the popcorn, like sneaking stuff in. It's just like the ices. It's just like a really good time. I don't know. There's just something fun about it that I just always have loved. Another thing I like to do that I love to do is like I love going to bookstores, but I have gotten to the point where like I have fallen into a reading slump. So like I have the books, I'm just not reading them. So I won't deny myself like the opportunity to go to the bookstore, but like I can't afford to keep buying books that I'm not going to read. So basically what I've been doing is I've been taking pictures of the books that I think are interesting, and so it kind of feels like I bought it. So I have like pictures of like book covers in my photo gallery, books I've never even like considered even actually like reading. But I will say I am reading a book right now, and it's called Cast, and I actually have found it to be really interesting. Oddly enough, it talks a lot about slavery. I can read about it, I just can't watch a movie about it. And it's comparing like the Indian caste system to like the American racial system, which is supposedly like an underlying caste system that we have here in the States. So I've been really liking that book, and hopefully I can keep up the momentum with reading it because I want to get a new book. There's nothing better than going to the bookstore and knowing you're allowed to get a new book. That's my favorite feeling too. So my favorite podcasts and YouTube channels. Okay, so I have one of my favorite podcasts is Emergency Intercom. So I don't know if any of you guys have watched this channel. I felt like YouTube pushed this podcast onto me. I don't know why. I don't know like what it is about my analytics that they think that it was meant for me. But I remember when I first started seeing like thumbnails of it pop up on my YouTube homepage, and I was like, are these two guys like, are they lovers from Colorado? Like I could not gauge them. They just looked super like, I don't even know, like, you know how people in Colorado kind of have that look? Like they're always like ready to go on a hike. Like they had that look. So I was just like, this is not for me. Like this has nothing to do with me. And I think one time I like clicked on their video and they were like talking about like a band I didn't know, and I was like, absolutely not. Like they're definitely like alternative and indie. Like I'm not watching this. Like we have nothing in common. And then later on, like YouTube kept pushing it, and I was just like, what is this channel? Like, why do they keep popping up on my feed? Like, who are these people? And then I think like I like was at my dad's house, and I like clicked on one of their videos, and they happened to be talking about something that like I could like follow. And so like they started talking, and then I think I was like packing for like a trip for work. and like they said something funny, and all it is one laugh. If you make me laugh once, like that's it. Like you got me, like subscribed. So I think like I just had them on in the background on accident, and like I was like, wait, why are they actually funny? Like who are these people? And so ever since then, I've been watching their videos every single Friday. It's like such a fun and funny podcast to watch. Like I love watching the two of them. Another YouTube channel that I really like is Prof G Markets. It's basically like this new NYU professor, Scott Galloway. He talks about the market every week, and he also is really insightful in the sense of like giving financial advice. And you know, like someone like me, I'm a young professional, and he, you know, went to UCLA and then started working for Morgan Stanley. So like, and he didn't come from money. So it was just like interesting to hear his perspective on like when he started to come into money, like what that looked like and how he would do things differently if he was a young man today. So being a young lady today listening to it, I think it's super insightful. And you know, I like try to implement a lot of his tips into my everyday life and try to be more aware of like my finances. But it's also like just a really good educational podcast to listen to if you're interested in like the business world and like the economy. Like it's a really good podcast to listen to in that sense. Quickly, I'm gonna say a couple more YouTubers that I really like, vloggers. Eva Malosh, Birta Hillen. Those two are really, really cool vloggers. I don't need to push them out. They are doing just fine without this plug, but like they are the coolest vloggers. Like I have been watching a lot of their vlogs ever since I've been posting on YouTube. So I feel like it's a really cool way to like, they're really good at like letting you in when they travel, when they're like, you know, going back to school for the year. Like they're just really good at letting you in, and it feels like very like cozy, and it just feels like fun to just watch. And I'm kind of trying to do that with my vlogs, but I'm also trying to like make my vlogs me. I don't want to like just copy someone else because that's no fun really, but like I think I'm still finding my style, and those two are kind of shaping it a bit. And then one last vlogger I will say is Kenzie Elizabeth. Like she's just so fun to watch. Like I just like love having her on the TV when I'm home alone. And she'll just like, I just feel like I'm at home with her because she's just like always doing something. That girl is so productive. Like she's always doing something. Okay, another question. Any tattoos or piercings? No. I have no tattoos. I don't plan on getting any tattoos. I'm not a tattoo person. I think I'm too dark for tattoos, honestly, so I don't think I would ever get any. I used to have a second piercing up here. I stupidly let like a blind lady, half blind lady, pierce my ears with a piercing gun, and she pierced one ear like up here almost, and then the other one like right next to the other piercing. So I had like uneven second piercings, which was super frustrating. I eventually just like took out the earrings, let the holes close, and got them re-pierced at a tattoo shop. But then when I started wearing like double hoops, I just did not like the way I looked. I don't know. I just did not feel feminine when I had double hoops. I thought, yeah, I just wasn't feeling like myself. So that's the answer on tattoos and piercings. Favorite movie. So, but my favorite movie that I can think of now is I really, really like The Social Network. I like Jesse Eisenberg. To give you background, I'm a very big like actor fan. So I will watch things because I love the actor. So one of my favorite actors is Jesse Eisenberg. Andrew Garfield's a really good actor too. And they're both in it. And it's just a really, really cool movie. I remember watching it in high school and being like, whoa, this is actually like a really, really cool film. You know, trying to understand like the founding, like how Facebook was built. And I guess it's like loosely based off of like true details versus, you know, some of it's like movie magic fiction stuff. So, but I really like that movie. I don't know. I just like it takes place in Harvard. I think it's fun like being on the East Coast watching that. And I don't know. I just like the writing a lot. I'm a big fan of the writer of that movie. I forget his name right now, but I really like his writing. He used to write The West Wing. He wrote Molly's Game. Molly's Game's a really good movie too, again, because of the writing. So if I had to say from the top of my head, like favorite movie, I'd go Social Network. Favorite holiday. So I would say my favorite holiday besides my birthday is probably Christmas, yeah, it's definitely Christmas. I don't know why I'm out here thinking so hard. Like, Halloween's fun, I guess. Like, Thanksgiving's nice, but like Christmas has its own music, and I love Christmas music. There is something so fun about just like humming or whistling like a Christmas tune. I love Christmas music. I am the biggest Christmas music girl. Like, you're looking at her. So yeah, I'll definitely say my favorite memory or my favorite holiday is Christmas. And then I'm gonna end on an embarrassing note, I guess. So my last question is an embarrassing moment that happened to me. So one day I was working out of the San Francisco office and I needed to use the restroom. So not a big deal. I go to one of these restrooms, but I notice it's like one of those like single, like it's like a one toilet, like you open the door, you're in the bathroom. It's like your own little personal bathroom. And so I go in there, it's just me, obviously, and I shut the door and I lock it. I go, I'm doing my business, I'm just peeing, like there's nothing like crazy about this, but like all of a sudden the door opens and I am just there, pants at my ankles, like I'm sorry, I'm apologizing, like I did something wrong, but I don't know what happened. And I guess I just didn't lock it. I don't know. And I asked my friend who works in that office all the time, I was like, hey, what's up with your locks? And she was like, oh yeah, like sometimes those locks are kind of iffy, like you have to be careful. Like it feels like it's locked, but if you're like not used to it, it's not actually locked. So that is the most embarrassing thing that's happened to me. But I don't know, I just feel like it's kind of more funny than it is embarrassing. It is what it is, honestly. So that is the end of my video. It was really fun getting to answer these questions. I kind of felt like it was an easier way to just kind of like let you guys in on who I am and like things that I like and things that I'm afraid of. So it was just really fun getting to just like answer some questions. So yeah, hopefully I get to see you guys next week. I'm not sure what type of video I'm gonna post, but stay tuned. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.